All right, so we're about to start the class now. Make sure your mic is muted, please. So today happens to be day 20th and then today we are moving on from what we have been doing all along. Want to see what we can achieve today. So yeah, I think that is that. I think the person's on the call. Let's get to it. So today I said we're going to be looking at column chart. We're going to be looking at pie chart as well. Then there's another chart that we may touch, but I'm not so sure. But let's just work on these ones first and get it right. So I'm trying to get the data that we're going to use for the class. So this is New Jersey. Then we have 591. The next one we have 781. The next one we have 617. Then we go to the next place. We have Maryland. And we have 946. The next one we have 816. The next one we have 895. Then we go to the next place. We talk about Vermont. Okay. Here we have 910. 867. 946. Next one we have New York. We have 945. 816. Here we have 895. Okay. So we are done with all the data I want to get. So you can see over here. So let's get the summations together. So I told us that whenever I want to get summation, okay. So whenever you want to get summation, just make sure that everything is selected. When everything is selected, then you can get your summation. So I want to get the total. So over here at this right, I'm going to have the total at the right. So I guess at this junction, I can open the call for anybody to join so that I won't come over and start accepting people. So I'll just open the call for everybody to join. Then I also want to make sure that we don't share our screen and then we don't turn on our videos. Okay, so that's fine. Those adjustments are fine. So let's start. So now the first thing we want to do is we have the total here. We have the quarter. This is quarter 1, quarter 2, and quarter 3. So let me make it make sense like this. Okay, so then over here, I want to widen this a little. So we have quarter 1, quarter 2, and quarter 3. Then all these things that are here, I want to also make sure they are at the middle, centralized. I put them at the center. Okay, fine. Then the next thing is that I want to have a total here. So let's say I give a total here, total. Then the next thing we're going to do is this. We want to make sure that we want to get all these totals over here, right? So what is what we're going to do? We're going to select both from where the data is and where the data is, where we don't have data. Then quickly press Alt equals to, and automatically look at what happens. The answer gets there automatically. So this is how you can actually add up each of these things without having to add them one after the other. So if you check, you discover that it was well added, right? So we are done with that. Now the next thing we want to do is that, okay, for column chart, we can create column chart with just a few clicks, right? Which we're going to do now. And Excel has many different types of charts, okay, and many variations of them. But when you learn how to use column chart, you would use the same techniques for other charts as well. So to create a column chart, this is what we're going to do. We're going to select the header. So before I do that, let me also make this place black so that we can know that, okay, this is actually these are the headings, right? The headers. And here we have the states. Here is where we have the state. I also want to make it black as well. So to create a column chart is very easy to do, right? So what you want to do is just select where the data are from the state, okay, from the state to the 3/4, right? So when you are trying to get a chart, especially this column chart, make sure once you are selecting this data, you don't select the totals, because if you select the totals, you are going to be duplicating the data, because this data already was what we added for us to have the totals that are here, okay? So you don't want to do the mistake of selecting everything when you're trying to create a column chart. Don't do that. But you just select this header for the state, the 3/4, and the data that is beneath it. So once you've selected all these things, the next thing you want to do is that, because a chart is something that we normally insert, right? So quickly go to your insert tab. Once you click on your insert tab, you come to the right-hand side, you're going to see a lot of things, right? So over here, you're going to see line chart, column chart, and a lot of other things that you can actually get. But today, we want to just deal with the column. So let's click on this column. Okay. So once you click on the column, so automatically it's trying to guess where the what you want to create. So you can, because we've selected it already, it's fine. Then here you say choose where you want the spark line to be placed. Okay, so let's assume we want it to be placed over here. Then we can click on OK. Okay, so let's close this. Is column chart I want to create. So as I said, right, just go to your insert. When you go to your insert, we want to get charts. So this, I think, yeah, so yeah, the charts, sorry. What I went for is like sparkline. What we want to get is actually charts. Then we are looking for like a column chart. So insert chart over, let's just click on it. Let's just, okay, I'm trying to look at the column chart. Statistics. So I guess it's a column chart. Let's just click on this to be a pie chart. Okay, so let's just click on this one. Yeah, so let's click on this one. So this is a column chart. So once you click on it, so let's look for a 3D. Okay, so let's just click on either this or let's see this. Okay, no, we don't want this. We want this like this. This is fine. So once we click on this one, and automatically our column chart has been created. Okay, so we can see that underneath we have the quarters, Q1, Q2, Q3, and so on and so forth. Okay, so these are to actually create a column chart. Okay, so any question from us? So now let's move this thing out of the way. Let's assume.
Sir.
Any question, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
My question is, what is the difference between this column chart and the normal chart we created using the pivot table?
Using the pivot table. Yeah. So the other one is for a pivot table, which is not this. That one is for analysis, right? That one you want to do analysis, the same analysis that you can achieve with your pivot table, you can also achieve it with your pivot charts. That is actually a specific chart for a specific purpose. So it's not, this is just a normal chart, right? So this one is just for it to show you data, right? You cannot do analysis on this one. So I guess that's just the difference between that and this one. Okay. For that one, you can even activate slicer. You can do a lot of things on that one. So it's actually different from this. Is that noted, sir?
Yes, sir. It's noted.
All right. So now this is how we are able to create our column charts, right? So now, in case you are looking at it that now we have quarter one, quarter two, quarter three. Okay, so let me see if there's any more. So Ikechi Chika, do you have a question? Do you have a question? Okay, so I can't hear her. So let's assume that here is showing
Yes,
up. Okay, so be
yes,
fast.
I have a question. Okay, I wanted to ask if you can go back on how you got this total at once. I
Okay, all
didn't
this
really see
total.
it. Yes.
Okay, I'll do that. I'll do that. Don't worry, I'll do that.
All right.
Yeah. So now, before we continue, okay, she wanted to know how I got all the totals. Okay, so it's very easy. So let me just press Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z again, Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z. Let's see if we can undo this, our column chart. Okay, so this is what I did. So quickly, what you want to do is that whenever you want to get totals for anything you want to do, just I'm coming. So let me quickly do something. So let me just clean all of them. It's because of you that I'm doing this, right? So uh, so what you just want to do is just select everywhere where the data is, right? Plus where you want the answer to be, okay? You now select it downwards. Once you select it downwards, okay, to where you want the data, the answer to be, just hold your Alt key and press equal to. So it's going to be Alt equals to, okay? So that's how we're able to get the totals, right? So just hold your Alt key and press equal to. So, but make sure you select everywhere where the data is before you do that. Okay, so that is fine. So the next thing you want to do is because you want to create a column chart, you need to also select all where the data is from the state to the 3/4 downwards to where the data is. But I said do not select the totals, right? So once you have done selecting all these, go to your insert because a chart is something that we always insert. So go to your insert and come to under the chart group. This is where the chart group is, okay? So you just, I think the first one over here is what we call, yeah, so this is the column chart. So this is 2D, and I think 3D is what we want to use. So let's use 3D, okay? 3D column chart usually makes more sense. Okay, so we select the 3D column chart, and then this is what we have. So once you have the 3D column chart, it's looking good. So I want to make this smaller because I want to, there are some settings I want to do. So I want to make this smaller. I can also move this out of the way. So if you look at it now, you see that here is actually showing information for the total, all the states, right? All the states and then all the quarters, right? So what you want to do is that in case you don't want information for quarter three, you can come to the bottom here like this, okay? Just move it to the right, okay? Now see, it has taken away, so now you don't have, this chart now is only showing you information for quarter one and quarter two. So you can see that that is only showing you information for quarter one and quarter two. Okay, so another thing you can also do is that you can just see that if you check, you discover that Connecticut is actually having this blue quarter one. If you look at quarter one is represented by blue. So let me make this thing bigger, okay, so that we can actually see very well. You see that quarter one is actually, so let me make this thing bigger. Now, quarter one over here at the bottom is represented by blue. Quarter two is red. So if you check this, your quarter one, you see that this blue is actually very small, okay? So let's assume we want to actually change this figure. Let's come to this, our quarter one, okay? Let's just change it to something like 850, 850, and click on enter. And you see automatically our blue has gone up, okay? You can see that all these things are just like instantly. So let me click on it again, okay? So if in case I also want to adjust my quarter two is represented by red. So my quarter two, let's say I want to also change it to something like let's say I want to change it to 500, for instance. Okay, so look at it. Quarter two has also changed to 500. Then if you also say, okay, I need the data for quarter three now, you can quickly click and drag it back. And obviously, you're going to see information for quarter one and quarter two. Are we together? Are we together?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So another thing we can also do now, let's now do something else. Okay. So let's do something. Let's click away from here. Let's make this thing smaller. Now there's another way that you can actually get this in quicker, very fast. So let me take this one and take it up somewhere. So let's assume that we don't want to go to insert and everything. We just want to quickly press maybe some keys, some shortcut. Just select everywhere where you have your data. Once you select everywhere where you have your data, just press your F11 key, F11. Okay, so you can see my F11 key is what I pressed, and you can see that this our data, our chart has been created, right? Our chart has been created, and obviously you can see, you can come back to the normal sheet where we are, and you can now come back to the chart, and you can see the name chart. Chart one has been created, and here you can do whatever multiplication you want to do to this chart and all that. So to get this chart from any data, select where you want the data, select the data you want to use for the column chart, and just press F11. So let me just write it down. Okay, so press F11. Okay. So now another thing we want to do is that how to modify a chart. If you want to modify a chart that's been created, if you want to modify your chart, okay, or like on a separate sheet, make sure the chart is selected. So if you want to modify a chart, right? So just let's assume that this chart is here on this sheet, and then we say that okay, we don't want this chart on this sheet. We want it on a separate sheet, right? So all you need to do is that you select the chart, right? Once you select the chart like this, just like the way I select it, right? Then you go to the top. You see that this place under the chart 2, there are two things. We have your design, we have your format, okay? So what you do is that just click on your design, click on design. Once you click on design, then you now go to the right-hand side of your screen. So yeah, this is where you can actually change the look of your chart, right? Under your design, you can change the look of the chart, but that's not what we want to achieve now. Let's assume we don't want this chart to be inside the same box with this thing. We want to move it to another sheet. So just come to your design. Once you come to your design, right, go to the right-hand side corner of your screen. You will see here they say move chart. Okay, so click on the move chart. Once you click on the move chart, it's going to tell you that this drop down that is showing now is telling you that in object. So it's in object is in this our sheet, which is store. So to make it go to another sheet, simply select new sheet over here at the top, select new sheet, and then it's going to go to chart 2. Okay, so click on OK and look at it. It has disappeared from, if you come back to top, you not see the chart again because we have moved it to another sheet. Okay, now is on this place, it's here now. So in case you want to actually move it back, you want to move it back to where it was originally, where it was created, come back to this your design again. Okay, go to the right, you will see move chart and click on the move chart. From there, you see that is in a new sheet. Come and click back in object in Okay, click back in here, object in start, then you click on OK, and okay, now it has come to start. Let's now go again and let's move it back to Tor. So let's come over here, let's click on chat. So what we're going to do, we are going to select from this drop down, right? From this drop down now, I want you to go back to Tor. I think Tor, that is where we are. So let's select Tor. I'm just trying to show you that you can actually move it to any sheet that you feel like, okay? We now click on Tor and we click on OK, and then we are back to where we were before. I'm sure this chart will be at the top, at the very top, because it's not in sight. So I guess it will be at the top. What did I say? This is it over here. It has come here. So I think it's our duty now to now drag it down. Okay, it's our duty to drag it down. Okay. Okay. So, yeah, so we'll just drag it down because this sheet already contains a lot of things. So now when you create any chart, it's going to be, it will be showing at the top of, of the screen. So you have to just drag it down to wherever you want it to be. So just like a recap, in order for us not to be lost at what we've done, the first thing we did is that we selected where the data that we wanted to use for the analysis for the chart, we actually selected it. After selecting the data, then because a chart is something that needs to be inserted, we went to our insert tab. When we went to our insert tab at the top, then we now went to the right. We will see, just check for it. You will see where you have charts, right? Where you have charts, don't go and click on sparkline or whatever. Just look for where you have chart. Then from there, you are going to see the column chart. When you see the column chart, you click on it and automatically you are going to have these in your, we are going to have these on your screen. So the next thing we want to do is that we want to continue from where we actually stopped. And let's see how we can do that. Okay, so I've shown us different things that we can actually do, how we can actually change our chart from where it is to another table, and how we can bring it back to where it is again. I also showed the people that don't know how to add those things the way I added them. I also showed them how they can actually achieve that. Okay, so we are back to where we started. So this is where we are now. So just like a quick recap before we move on, I said that to get this chart created, come to it. Once you have selected where the data is, that's the first step. Select where the data is, and I told us that don't select the totals. Just select the data. Come to your insert. Then from your insert, you come to the chart group. You will see underneath here, you see chart. Then from there, come to your. This is our column chart. So we click on it. Then we now came to 3D chart. Always come to 3D. 3D is the best for you. 3D chart. Don't come to this one though. Don't come to bar. Don't come to bar. Come to 3D column. And that's what we selected on that made us to be able to get what we have over here. I also told us that in case we don't want to see for some quarters, you can simply come to where you have your quarter, and then at the end of your sheet, you can quickly drag away, and you're going to see probably only the things that you're looking for. So now we only have for quarter one, only quarter one. Quarter one is blue. You can see that quarter one is actually blue, right? If you want to see quarter two, you can simply drag back, and you're going to see quarter two, and then you can also drag again. You can see quarter three, and so on and so forth. So let's drag back and see quarter three. So then the next thing I also told us about is if we want to modify our chart, right? The first thing we first of all say is that we want to first of all move our chart from where it was, right? We want to move it to another sheet. To move it from where it is to another sheet, automatically at the top, you are going to see that the chart tool is selected. So you come to your design. When you come to your design, you come to the left-hand side of your screen, you're going to see move chart. When you click on it, you're going to see that the object is in this our sheet that is called Tor, right? You can decide to move it to any other sheet that you please. You can just click it on any other new sheet, rename the sheet to whatever you want it to be. Okay, you can rename it, and once you've renamed it, you can click on OK, and then it will go to another sheet, right? If you want it back on the Tor where you started from, simply come back to where you are, and then we do it, and then we are going to be having. Okay, so let's leave it here, because if I decide to undo it, it will come to the top, right? It will go to the very, very top. I don't want that. So what we want to simply do is, let's just quickly create another one again. We select all the data, right? Then come to insert. Then from the data, from the chart group, come to this place where you have your bar, your column chart, and then come and choose a 3D looking chart. Okay, I think I like this one. Okay, this is what we created. So another thing you want to do is that once you have learned how to move your data in and out, right? Move it in and out. The next thing I want to do is I want to now want to switch between legend, and if you don't want your chart to be displaying this way, right? If you don't want to be displaying this way, you can decide to switch it from anyhow you want it to go. So just go to your design again. So if you don't want your, now you can see that here you have your Connecticut, you have your quarters as well. So let's come to our design. Once you come to design, then from design, you can now go to the left of your screen. You're supposed to see, okay, it's on the right over here. So on the right here, you're going to see switch role and /column. So switch roles / column. So let's click on, let's see what happens. So automatically now you have switched between your role and your column. Initially, let's do it back. Initially, let's do it back. Okay, so initially now you have your Connecticut at the top. You have your quarters at the bottom, right? So your quarters are the columns, while your Connecticut and everything are the rows. Sorry, they are the okay, so your quarters are the rows, sorry, they are the rows, while the state are the columns. So you want to switch them, just come to here where you have your switch role / column, just click on them, and then you have been able to switch between your role and between your column, okay? So now if you check now, what we are doing now is that we are not seeing it by quarters any longer, but we are seeing it by the state. Now it's telling us that Connecticut, for instance, is the blue. So Connecticut has 850, exactly the way it is. So Connecticut actually have 850, right? Then I think which of them, Pennsylvania is this color, and Pennsylvania has 500 and something. So I think this is the best way, because we are looking at it by the state. Connecticut is like 850, Pennsylvania is 545, and so on and so forth. So this is the first quarter now. This is what they have for first quarter. You can also come here for second quarter. You can come here for third quarter. So another thing you can also do is this. When you look at this thing now, okay, is anybody raising his or her hand? How can we have access to recorded version? Let me see. How can we have recorded version of this training, sir? It's on the YouTube. I guess you are new. It's always on the YouTube page. I always share it in the group. So now this is what happens now. Let's move this thing away from the screen. Now you discover that your Connecticut, or let's look at, let's look at New Jersey. Which of them is New Jersey? New Jersey, this color. Okay, so New Jersey is here. I guess so. What? Okay, so that's New Jersey, right? So once you select your New Jersey, you discover that I selected New Jersey. The three of them were actually selected at the same time. The two of them were selected at the same time. But let's assume you want to show them that, okay, in the first quarter, New Jersey was actually low. New Jersey had 591. You can see it there. And then in the last quarter, it also had 617. But we wanted to see that in the second quarter, it actually did well. He got like 781. So you see that I clicked on it. Once I click on New Jersey, the three of them were selected, right? The next thing I want to do is I want to now click on it again. I click on it. What I want to work on is the one at the middle. I want to show this one at the middle that there's something that actually happened to this New Jersey. So I'll click on it again. Okay, so once I click on it again, it's only this one at the middle that is now selected. This one is no longer selected. This one is no longer selected. Then after that, I can now right click. Once I right click, I can go to change series chart type, or I can actually choose any other thing, probably color or something. So let me just click on this. Okay. Okay, so I want to see what can I do to it to make it look better. Okay, let me close this one first. So once it's selected, I can also come to, is it the format? Okay, I can come to the format. I can come and change. Okay, you can see, you decide to change anything over there to make that thing so obvious that something has changed. Or let's check for these. Okay, let me come to this design. Let me check. Okay, for the design now, I can also change, let me change the color. Okay, I think it's affecting all of them. It's affecting all of them. No, that's not what I want to achieve. I just want to change something that relates to only this one. So let me see. Okay. Oh. So I just wanted this one to show that something different has happened to it. I'm supposed to also right click and select data 3D. Let me check for this 3D first. Let me see. Okay, let me close this. Let me right click again. Right, let's see, what can I do? What can I do? Format data series. Okay, so at least I've been able to show that this one is actually different. This New Jersey is actually different. So that anytime you just check on it, you see that, okay, among all the New Jersey, this one actually stands out, right? Among all the New Jersey. So in the first quarter, New Jersey was like 591. In the last quarter, New Jersey was also 617. But in the second quarter, New Jersey actually performed well. It had like 781. So to just show that New Jersey actually did something that is different, that is what I went to do over there. So if I carry this thing like this now, automatically by just looking at it, you can tell that something is actually different about this, which your data will not show you. By just looking at the data, you'll not be able to get that by just looking at the data. But when you look at your charts speak volume. It can tell you a lot of things. So you can see that we swap our chart, right? We now have our state rather than having the quarters, which is not the quarters we're trying to show. We're actually trying to show the state and what they did in each of the state. So that is fine. And that you want to do is that, let's say you want to insert a title for your chart, right? So once you want to insert a chart, just come to this place that is selected already. Click on anywhere. Okay, once you click on anywhere now, you're supposed to have, I'm coming, let me do something. I'm coming, what I'm looking for. Okay, so let's check layout first. I'm coming. Okay, no. So once you click on this thing, you're supposed to be able to, okay, so let's double click. Okay, from this one, you can actually change it from here. So once you double click there, you can actually change it from here. But normally you're supposed to see layout. In this my data tab, I'm supposed to see layout, but I'm not seeing layout. But anyway, this is actually selected, you can actually correct this one and give it whatever you want to give it, right? So let's give it a title. Let's call it like what title do I want to give it? Okay, let's call it something like billions of gallons sold. So billions of gallons sold. Okay, so that is what we have been able to do. Okay, no. Okay, this is fine like this. So we have been able to now get this so you can also change the color of this thing if you like. You can come to your design and let's come to format first. Let's see our format. Okay, from here now, you can decide to change color. That is the okay. So you can change it to whatever you want. You can also come here and change the design. If that is the design you want, you can change it to whatever design you want. I think this is fine for us here, and that is fine. So you can see what we have here. We have this our chart. It has been formatted the way we want it. We did the headings the way we wanted it and everything. So let's ask question before we move away from here to go and look at how to get our pie chart. This has been it has been lovely. Anybody have any question? Does anybody have any question? Are we together? Give me a thumbs up if you are on this call and we are together.
We are together, sir.
Okay, there's no question yet, right? Okay, so that's that. So just a quick recap before I move away from here. The first thing I said is that to insert your chart, right? To insert your chart, select where you want what the data you want to use for your analysis. Once you select it from the state, make sure you don't select the totals. Now, if you select the totals, you're going to replicate data that you have selected already. So select from the state down to where the data are. Go to your insert, then check from the chart group and select your column chart. Once you select your column chart, you can do whatever adjustment you want to do to your chart. So when you select your column chart like this, check for 3D. Once you get 3D, right, from that 3D, you can do whatever you want to do to that 3D. You can decide to like move it from here to you can move it from here to another sheet by just coming to your design, coming to the right-hand side, you're going to see move chart, and you can move it away from here to another chart, okay? Just come here and click on new chart, and that new chart, just click on, let's say we are saying a practice. We want to rename our new chart to practice. So once we call it practice, there we just click on OK, and automatically it's going to move it to this side, okay? So from here also, you can go ahead to now decide that, okay, probably let me move it back, come back here and come back to your move chart, right? Then you want to put it in this place, and then we select where are we putting it. We are taking it back to where we took it from. We go and put it in under top, and automatically it will go to the top of that our top. But we don't want to do that. Let's close it. And that I told us that we can do is that we can also rename our chart, right? So once you just click on this placeholder where you have your name, you can quickly rename it. Then if you want to switch between so I think here now it's actually showing exactly the way it's supposed to show. It's showing, this is Connecticut. Okay, so what it's doing is that it's showing Connecticut for the blue is actually Q1, right? So it's showing for Connecticut for both Q1, Q2, and Q3. Pennsylvania is showing for Q1, Q2, Q3. So in case you want to switch this thing, come to your design. Once you come to your design, then you come to this right-hand side, you're going to see switch row and column. Then you can quickly switch row and column. And now you are going to have it now. These are all the states for the Q1. These are all the states for Q2. These are the states for quarter 3. You can switch it back again. You're going to see only Pennsylvania. This is Connecticut for quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3. But if you want to compare different states with their performance, I think the best thing is to switch the data so that you can have all the states for quarter 1. This is their performance. You can quickly check them and say, okay, for quarter 1, I think either this guy is doing well. And what guy is this? Let's see. This is New York, or this other guy, which is Maryland. Okay. Then you can say, okay, which of them is performing well? Which of the states performed well in quarter 3? You can see that is this guy at the middle, which is Vermont, performed very well in quarter 3. I also told us that in case you want to also make something conspicuous, right, differently from the way it was, then you can say, okay, let's say like New Jersey, it did poorly in the first quarter, it improved in the second quarter, and it went back to the way it was performing in the third quarter. So in order for you to show that there is an improvement in New Jersey for the second quarter, once you select New Jersey, you discover that all the New Jersey, both in first quarter, second quarter, and third quarter, will be highlighted. So that's the first highlight. Then select it again. Okay, now it's only this one now that is now selected now. Only the second quarter now that is selected. Then you can right click to do whatever you want to do to it. You can decide to change the color, the field. You can decide to change the field to whatever field you want, right? You can decide to change the field to whatever field you actually want. We don't have any yellow here. You can decide to change it to this yellow, and automatically you can see New Jersey is now having a yellow look, while others are not having a yellow look. Or you can decide to also change it to, so the first click is going to highlight everything. The second click is going to now highlight only what you want. You can still change it again to whatever you need and all that. Okay, you can still change it to whatever you need and all that. So it's not having a red outline. So it's just looking differently. So that is what I wanted to say. Then the last thing I also said about it is that you can actually change the title, right? From the title, you just click on the title, and then you now call it whatever you want to call it, like billions of gallons sold. Okay, so that is that. Then once you have done, you click away from there, and then everything is looking good. You can also go and change the way this thing is looking. You can come to your design, come to format, So in format, you can actually change the way it looks, right? You can change it to whatever you want. And change to what you want. You can change you can also put anything that you want to put, and then look at the way it's looking now. It's looking better than it was before. Okay, you can also make it bigger. Okay, you can make it bigger by, you can shift it to anywhere you want it to go to. So that is all about that. So let's now go further to look at how to create our pie chart, right? Creating and modifying a pie chart. That's the next thing we want to look at. Let's go back to our tool where we have our data, right? So in this, our tool, this is what we're going to do. So here now, this thing that I have here, I'm going to move it to the top, okay, so that we can have room for, or let me move it to the bottom. Let me move it to the bottom so that we can have room for our pie chart, our pie chart. Okay, so I've moved it to the bottom to this side, so that we can actually have room for a pie chart. So I click away. Now to create your pie chart, right? This is what you want to do. First of all, select all the states, right? Only the states. Select all the states. Now, after you've selected the state, then hold your control key and come and select the totals. So you have selected the state, you hold your control key and select the totals. So once you have done that, now you discover that whenever you are selecting the state and the totals, you don't need to select the individual figures, okay? You don't have to select the individual figures. So once you've selected this and you selected the totals, Now come back to your insert. Once you come to your insert, then we want to come to our chart group, and over here we're going to select a pie chart. So what we want to look for is a 3D chart, a 3D chart. I think this is fine. A 3D pie chart is what we're going to click on. Let me check for this one. No. Okay, so this is what we are actually looking for. I'll just select this one like this. So a 3D is what we're looking for, and this is it. So we have created our pie chart. Okay. Now, once you have created your pie chart, we can also do some setting adjustment to these our pie charts, right? So whenever you want to show how individual numbers combine to make up a total, right? The best thing to use is a pie chart. Whenever we want to show how individual numbers combine to make up a total, nothing beats a pie chart. So, and we've seen how to create a pie chart. Simply select where the states are, also select where the totals are. Hold your control key and select the totals. And with that, we have been able to create these, our pie chart. So what do you want to do to it? You want to now modify this, our pie chart, okay? I want to modify this. Let's assume that this our, let me click here. What is it? This is, I'm coming, let me see. Once I click on this is actually this color. What is this color? Okay, we don't actually know the name yet, okay? But in case you want to like adjust this thing, okay, this is Maryland. This is Maryland, and this Maryland is like 17%. Let's check for others. This is 18%. This is 17% as well. This is 12%, 10%, 12%, and this is 13%. Okay. So what we want to do now is that we want to now rotate this chart. Do you know that we can rotate this chart? Can you unmute your mic and let me hear do you know that we can actually rotate this chart? Is anybody aware?
I think we can. Where we are able to go to, is it dimension? Where we can go 40, I mean, we can make angular changes.
Okay, so once you click anywhere in the chart like this, anywhere, okay, go to your, let's first get to our design. What we're actually looking for is we are looking for 3D rotation. So you see 3D rotation somewhere. So let's search for it. 3D rotation. Let me check under this quick layout. Okay, so Vermont. Normally, I'm supposed to see layer. Okay, so I'm supposed to actually see. I'm looking for something. There's something I'm looking for which I've not seen, but I'm still searching. Let's see. There's something I'm searching for that I've not seen, but normally I'm supposed to click on this page and see layout, but it's not bringing out layout for me. So then there's a place where I was supposed to see 3D rotation. I'm not seeing it over here. Under design is not there. Let me check under my formats. 3D. Okay, so it's not showing me what I'm supposed to see. So since it's not showing me what I'm supposed to see, we are just going to have this our quick layout is what we're going to use. Though we are supposed to be able to we're supposed to be able to determine how we want it to be, but it's just giving us this quick layout, which is not what I want to see, but obviously this is what it is. This is what it's showing us. Okay, let's come to this one. Let's check this. Pennsylvania, Connecticut. Okay, so this is what I have. I was not able to get the what I'm supposed to use for it. But at the same time, let's right click and see. For this thing now, okay, I've seen 3D somewhere. Aha, so I've seen 3D rotation. So let's check. So if you click here now, you're going to see 3D rotation. This is it. So for our 3D rotation, for our x-axis, so sorry, for our x-axis here, we are going to rotate it to 160. Let's rotate it to 160. 160. So we have it as 160. You can see that we have rotated it to 160 over here. Then for our y-axis, we are going to rotate it to 40. Okay, 40. Then for our perspective, this is our perspective. We are going to take it to 20. So this is how it's supposed to be, but I think this thing now is no longer. Let's now go back to let's also go back to our 3D dimension. This is our layout. Now let's change it now to, I'm coming, let's check for that one that is bigger. Okay, so let's do something. Let's do something. I'm coming, let me check what I can do. Okay, so let me press I want to delete this one so that we can start it afresh. Okay, so let's start it afresh. So I told us that to create this our pie chart, select the state. Once you select the state like this, then hold your control key and select the totals. Once you have done that, then you come to your insert. Once you come to your insert, then you come to where you have your pie chart and select 3D, which is this. Okay, so this is 3D now. So once you select this 3D, the next thing you want to do is that click on where this thing is. Right? Once you click on it, you can now right click. If you right click, you're going to see 3D rotation. So that's what we want to do. We want to rotate it 3D. So I told us that the x-axis, we want to rotate it 160. So we now click on 160. As we are rotating it, is shifting. 40, 50 is going 70, 80, 90, 100. We are going to 160 now. Yeah, so 160. We have rotated it 160. Then for our y-axis, we want to take it to 40. Okay. Then for our perspective, we want to take our perspective to 20. So once we have done that, that is fine. Then the next thing we want to do now is that we can still make this thing bigger. So let's click here. If you click here, you discover that this thing, you can still extend it. You can extend it like this. You can extend, sorry. Okay, so that's fine. So it's good like this. Another thing we want to do is that we can also still rotate it. Okay, then another thing is that we can also pull out any of the chart. Let's assume we want to pull out where is our New York? Where is New York? Maryland. Let's say we want to pull out New York. New Jersey, Connecticut. Yeah, so this is New York. So let's assume want to pull out New York, okay? So what I'm going to do is, first of all, click on it the first time, right? So everything is clicked. Then click on it the second time. Then now bring it out. So you can see, we have been able to bring out one of the, that is New York that we have been able to bring out, okay? So if you want to take it back, just hold it again and then drag it back like this. And it has stayed back again. So to do it again, just click on it and then pull out. You can see everything has been pulled out now. Then you can pull it back in again and everything all to be put in again the way it should be. Okay, so that is how we are able to achieve that. Let's now pull out our, that is, we have pulled out only New York, okay? We can decide to take it back inside again. But if you want to pull out everything, right, click away from the box, then come back again and just click on anywhere and pull everything, and everything we pull out apart. So we have pulled everything apart. So you can decide to take them back again. And everything has come back together again. So click away, then you hold it and pull. And everything we pull out at the same time. Are we together? Do you have any question? So let's try something. Let's try and remove all these things that we have here. Let's try and remove them. Let's come to, yeah, so the layout tab is not still there. There's supposed to be a layout tab over here. Let me click anywhere here. Let me right click and see. I think I need, there's a tab I'm looking for, which I've not seen, which is the layout tab. I've not seen it because I'm supposed to be able to click so this is just a quick layout, but I'm actually looking for how to, be able to put up the legend. Okay, so I'm not able to assess the full control of what I want, but I think this is actually fine. This also is fine. Any of these that we like, we can actually go for. This also is fine. Okay, let's now try something. Let's now switch row and column. Let's see what happens. There's what I'm looking for that I did not see, but this is how to actually create your pie chart and everything. So let's try and have names on all these things instead of us having all the names down over here. So instead of having all the names over here, let's go and look for our data label. We are going to see our data label. Select data label. The layout I'm looking for, I've not been able to see it. But let me click on format. Let me see if I'm going to see anything under format. Okay, I think this version of Excel is not the one I used before. So there are some functionalities I'm finding it difficult to get over here. There's a layout tab that I ought to see that will make things easy for me to assess what I'm looking for. But most times I have to right click before I'll get some things I need for it. Okay, I can't get that. So I guess this is how select data. Let me see. Okay, so I guess this is how. Then let's now also try and change the name of this. So let's call it billion sales, just like we have it before other time. Billions of gallon sold. Okay, billions of gallons sold. So we can also make this thing, we can shift this thing to one side of the, let's shift it to one side. Let's shift it to the beginning. Okay. Then for this one, let's make this one wider. Let me click here and then let me make this one wider. No. Okay, I guess I can make it wider than this. Okay, no, it can't. I guess this is the size. So normally I'm supposed to be able to take away all these connecting cords from the bottom. I'm supposed to be able to make those things stay up on this thing. Except I want to come to design, and then from the design, I want to come to this quick layout. That is when I can achieve all those things, and that is not what I want to achieve. So, but since this is the quick layout, I'm supposed to have a quick layout show over here. From that quick layout, I'm supposed to have a layout over here, but here I'm only having a quick layout, which is not, it's like a shortcut to what I actually need. Okay, it's a shortcut to what I need, and it's not what I want actually. But let's see. Okay, I think this is good. Pennsylvania. Okay, so let's make it wider. Okay, so that is just it. Then let's try and make this thing, let's change this color. Let's come to our home. From our home, let's check for these. Let's make it white. Okay, for instance, is white. Then we want to also now make it bigger than that. Okay, Pennsylvania. Then let's now shift it inside a little. Pennsylvania, then Connecticut. Okay, for this one in New York, we can also shift this one inside a little. Okay. Then for Vermont, let's also shift it inside a little. Then for Maryland, let's also shift it inside a little. Okay, then for New Jersey, I'm also going to shift this one inside a little. Okay, then for this one, I'm also shift it inside a little. Okay, so this is it. This is how to do your pie chart. And you can also format this to whatever taste you also want. Okay, I guess this is good. Then let's come to this side. Okay, so I guess this is fine. So this is how we're able to actually format our pie chart. Now, one thing I will say categorically on this call is that this version of Excel is not making things actually easy for me, because normally once I select any of these things, I also see layout over here, but it's not to go and be looking at quick layout that is here. I want to see layout over here so that from there I can access. Even when I'm trying to rotate this thing, I have to right click to rotate it. So if yours can show where you can get your layout, is fine for you. Okay, so that's how we are able to achieve all this. So I think from tomorrow we'll be going straight to macros. I told us the last time that whenever you have a macro, you can, most of these things that I've done now, let's assume I have a data, and that data, I always want to get some certain kind of report with that data. You can, all these things that I've done, no matter how tedious the activity is, I can do it and do it and do it and do it, and I'll be saving everything. Macro will be watching everything I'm doing. Excel is going to be looking at everything I'm doing and to be recording the steps. So anytime I get any other data that I also want the same result that I got like this, let's assume before I could get this pie chart, it took me hours, okay, to get it well like this. So I can just record the steps, everything I did before I'm able to achieve this result. I can record every step, and Excel macro will looking at everything I'm doing, recording it, and I want to save it. So anytime I just have any other data, similar data, it's just for me to let that macro that I've recorded, I should let it play on that data and automatically return that data into the finished report that I'm looking for. So gradually, we are going to be moving away from our normal Excel that we've been doing. We are going to go straight to macros, okay, which is going to be advanced Excel. Any question in the house? Do you have any question? Is there anywhere you're confused? So somebody asked me now, he said, how can we have access to the recorded version of this training? It's always on our, this thing. The same person asked, how do you get all these data, sir? So the data was a formulated data. So you could have real data that you use at workplace that you want to show a visual report. So charts, they always bring to life data, right? So data that you want your boss to be able to visualize and see what is actually happening. Just use charts to represent those things. So they are visual data that you want your boss to actually see. So you can see the way this pie chart actually is looking. It's looking so fine. Okay, so if you give your boss this kind of data, okay, or you give your boss this other one, which one do you think your boss will appreciate the more? This one or this your data that is here? Which one do you think your boss will appreciate the more? Who can answer that question? If you have this kind of data like this, or you have this pie chart, which one do you think your boss will appreciate the more? Though on this thing, we're not having the percentage. Let's try and see if we can get percentage. Okay, I think this one is having percentage. This is also having percentage, but I think this one is having the name and the percentage. Why this is okay? So this is also having, okay, the total. This having total rather than percentage, to have like this is 2,600 and whatever. Why this is not having at all? So let's go for %, 22%. It's either this one or this one. So then this one, now we're going to adjust this one a little. Okay, so I'll adjust this one a little. All right, so let me make it come. Okay, so yeah, so I think this is better this way. So this now is having both the name and the information that we're actually looking for. everything is, sorry, is having both the name and the information we're actually looking for. Okay, so this is New Jersey. Shift it somewhere around here. Fine. Then this is Pennsylvania. I'm gonna shift it somewhere around here. No. Okay. Okay, I think it's fine like this. So that is that. So we say there is no question, Abby. So today happens to be day 20th. So any observation so far about the training? Any observation, any comments? What do we have to say about the training? Has it been very useful to our day-to-day activity at work? Are you finding any changes in what you have been learning so far?
Well, except I want to ask a question which does not relate to today.
Okay.
The last question, I mean, the last class we had,
Okay.
you taught us seek goal. And
Go
I
seek.
tried.
Go seek.
Go seek. Yeah, I tried to practice it, and I said I was not getting desired result.
Okay.
Yeah, I posted it on the
group,
on the platform.
Okay. So
I did a snapshot.
Okay, so let's quickly have a run through over it. So if you go to your goal seek, it's very easy to achieve. So let's quickly check where our goal seek is. I think it should be out around this area that we had our goal seek. Let me see. Oh, I think it's not on this. Oh, it's not on this data. It's not on this file. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I will set this one and then I'll open the other file. So it's not on this file that we had the goal seek. Okay, so let me save this one, Control X. Then it's trying to save. Okay, so let me close this one. So let's open that file again for the goal seek. It's very easy to actually do. It's very easy to do. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so this is the goal seek. So that day we had goal seek, we had scenarios, we have using data tables. So the only one you have challenge with is the goal seek, right, sir?
Sir.
Is it only the goal seek you have challenge with?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so for the goal seek now, all you need to do is just click on, at least you understand how we got the payment function. The payment function is
exactly. We got the same question. I mean, we got
so
the same.
So this is the syntax of your payment function is equal to PMT. Open your bracket, select your interest, put a comma, select your payback period, put a comma, then put your present value. So which is what we put over here to get our formula. Then the next thing is once your formula is selected, come to your, I think is the formula. I think come to your formula and okay, let me see. No, not formula. Let's go to data first. We are looking at what if. So this is it here. So under your what if, you come to your data tab, come to your what if, and select, look for where you have your goal seek. So select your goal seek now. So this is your goal seek. Automatically, there's a cell that is already selected, which is this cell, right? So is this cell now? What we are telling Excel is that I know that if I should take a loan of 100,000 at 6% interest rate to be paid by 11 years, 11 years, 6 months, right? I'm to pay 1,000 per month. So let's assume that probably I'm now trying to tell Excel that I can't afford 1,000, or maybe I'm trying to say I can afford more than 1,000. Let's assume I say, okay, to value how much can you afford? let's say we are saying that we can't afford 1,000. Let's say we can afford 900. So put the amount you can afford over here. Okay. So once you have put the amount you can afford, now which of these variables do you want to change in order to be able to pay only 900? So let's click on this place where you want to change your variable and come and say, let's say I don't have power over the interest rate. The bank controls the interest rates, but I can actually talk about the numbers of years I want to use for the loan or the amount I want to go for. Okay, if they're telling me that I must pay back 1,000, what if I say that, okay, I can't pay back 1,000 per month? It's still high for me. It's only 900 I can afford. So instead of me going for 1,000, 100,000, that will make me to pay 1,000. Why don't I pay something lesser than 1,000? So I'll just than this amount. So I'll just click on OK, and let's see what happens. So what it did is that now it has reduced the amount I'm going for. When you reduce the amount I'm going for, now automatically I can now start paying my 900 per month. So that is what GoSeek is about. GoSeek is that it's going to give you a result that you impute, that you want. So let's say, okay, let's go back to GoSeek again, and let's try and do another thing. Let's come over again. Let's assume that I come here and I change this one to, let's say, I change it back to 100,000. I say minus 100, 1, 2, 3. So it has gotten back, because it's a formula, right? This is a formula. So it has come back to 1,000. So let's now come back to GoSeek. We come to this, our data. From our data, we come to our what if analysis, and then we now click on GoSeek. So let's assume that I am going for a loan of 100,000, and the interest rate is, I'm going to pay 6% per year. But yes, then the loan will be paid over a period of 11.6 years, right? So I say, okay, this 1,000 that they say I should pay per month is too small. I can afford more than that now. Let's assume I can afford 1,500. Instead of me to pay 1,000, I can afford 1,500, okay? So if I put that 1,500 that I can afford into this value, okay? And I say, okay, if I want to pay 1,500, which of these variables do I want it to affect? So let's say, okay, since I want to pay 1,500 now, let it affect the years, okay? So obviously, if I'm to pay 1,000 before for 11 years, if I pay more than 1,000, then the numbers of years I used to pay it, we obviously reduce. So I'm gonna say, okay, I can afford 1,500, then let me change the numbers of years I want to use for the loan. So I click on the numbers of years. So you can see here, by changing cell, I click inside here and I come and select the variable I want to change, okay? And I click on OK. Automatically, it's going to change this one to the amount I can afford. Why it's changing this one to the amount I afford? It's going to adjust the numbers of years that now I'm no longer going to pay it for 11 years, but I'll pay it for 6, almost 7 years, right? And I'm going to be paying 1,500 every month. So, sir, is this still difficult for you from the way I've explained it now?
Thank you very much. You have explained, and I try to do exactly that. I try to work on the variable of the time to expected time to pay.
Okay.
But when I press OK, it was giving me a funding figure on the numbers of years. So I wonder what happened.
Is it today or that day?
That day. I tried it again today. Yeah.
So you have to try it again today.
Yes,
Then make sure that this your payment function, right? So this payment function now, let's quickly work on it. Let's delete what is here. Okay, so if you delete what is here, once this your payment function is right, you're going to get your answer correctly. So just say equal to then PMT. You open your bracket. Once you open your bracket, then I say, okay, the syntax of a payment function is the interest rate is what you're going to select first. So what is the interest rate? Is 6%. But note that this 6% is per year.
Per annum. Yeah, per 12 years.
Yes, but but we want it by month, right? So we're going to divide it by 12. So we divide it by 12. Sorry. So we divide it by 12. Then after I've done that, you put a comma. So then the next thing is that the payment period is going to be 6 years, but it's not years we want to use to pay. We want to pay by month. So 6 years times, how many months are there in a year? 12. So you now say times 12. So that everything will now change from years, it now becomes months. So once you've done that, you put a comma again. Then the next thing is that you want to add the last argument, which is the present value of the loan you are going for. Select the present value of the loan you are going for, and then close the bracket. Once you've done that, then click on OK, and then this is what you're going to get. So if you get this payment function well, and you did exactly what I say you should do, you are going to get the answer that you are to get. So in order for you to be on the safe page, let me change this thing now to 10 years.
Initial, to the initial years.
So let's change one to 10 years, right? Yeah. I'm sure you saw something like this.
We have the same answer as that.
Yeah. So this is how it is. So what you need to do is that if you now come here and say, okay, I want to actually pay 1,500 instead of that 1,100. I can afford 1,500. Come over here again and come to your goal seek and say, this 1,110 is too small for me. I can actually afford 1,500. So just tell it. Then where do you want to change? Which of the variable do you want to change? I want to change the number of years. Okay. Then you can click on OK and let's see what happens. Automatically, that's changed this one to 1,500 and it has reduced this one to 6.8 back. So that is how it's going to be. Okay. So try it. Yeah. Okay. Try that. So any other person, does any other person have any question as well? We also did scenarios, and scenarios are something that you have to, you don't need to actually, when you're doing scenarios, you don't need to click on anywhere here. Click on any other place and just go back to your data again and go to your what if and then start creating your scenarios, okay? So we created some scenarios the other day, and then you can always go back to that, our previous classes, okay? And you are going to get that. So another thing that we also took time to do is using our tables in formulas. So our tables also enabled us to be able to do all these things the other day. So anybody that does not understand all these things that we've done here, please refer back to the video that we had on it, and that we're going to guide you very well. So any other question before we call it a day? Don't forget that today is the 20th and we are moving on. Any question? Any other person who has a question here? Okay, so somebody said the training has been so useful for me. Thank God for that. Any other person on the call? So if you don't have any question to ask, I believe we can call it a day for today. So thank you everybody for joining. Just like a recap, don't forget you can create pie charts, you can create bar chart, you can even create other charts as well, which I didn't show us, but once you are able to modify your column chart, is almost the same functionality for every other thing. I've shown you how to work on your pie chart, which looks a little bit technical. We rotated the pie chart, but one thing that we're not able to get is there's a place that you see layout, and I was not able to get layout because of the Excel, will I call it Excel? I don't know what to call it, but I was not able to get that layout. But if you check yours, probably you will see it in your own. There should be a layout. From that layout, there should be a lot of things you can, functionalities. So even to rotate it, I had to right click on the pie chart before I was able to rotate the pie chart. So on that note, I will say, do have a lovely day. We shall continue tomorrow. So prepare yourself tomorrow. Tomorrow is macro. You're going to start working on macros tomorrow. You don't want to miss any of the steps. If you miss any of the steps for the macro, I won't come back to it. So thank you, everybody. And do have.
Thank you very much. God bless you, sir.
You're welcome, sir.